What's up, guys? Another day, another questionable decision from Amazon Game Studios. Now, I'm sorry if I can't explain this very well if you aren't familiar with the system, but this is one of those things that's so dumb that it's almost hard to explain. So, Amazon is now adding an expertise system to New World. And basically, this is a watermark system on top of the watermark system. Let me give you an example. So let's say you bought a really cool 590 musket off of the market. Now, with this new expertise system, when this comes out, your expertise is going to be tied to your watermark, meaning that let's say you only have like a 513 gear score or watermark for your musket, and that you bought that 590 musket because it's cool, it's a 590 musket. Your new 590 musket will now be downgraded to 513 because your expertise is now your watermark. It's like this new fucking thing they decided to add to the game for like no reason. This whole thing is so stupid to me. And I understand the like, I get why they want to do it. It's just the timing of it and the details of it are really, really bad. So first of all, let's talk about the timing. When you have something that is changing like the paradigm as much as this does for the game, this is an expansion feature. This is something that you need to do when you are invalidating the old gear in the first place. That's fine. Or okay, let's say let's say you can't wait for an expansion. Don't grandfather in the old gear. Like let's say you have crafted gear. That crafted gear, guess what? That is now your new watermark. That's now your expertise. It's a one-time thing. After this, it's the normal system, but for this very special time, you are now your old gear is now grandfathered in. Your 590 musket will now be your expertise level. That's how they should have done this. But you now have this reality. And I think this is probably gonna be the best way to explain it. This is my reality coming back to New World. If I choose to play this game again in 2021, this is my reality. I have almost exclusively crafted gear and gear that I've bought off the trade post. I will now have to grind for hundreds of hours in this new system to get back to where I was. Not to progress, to get back to where I was originally. That's not a refund on all the gold I spent to get there, or all the time I spent, or all the time the crafters spent to be able to make me that stuff. No, that's all just a wash at this point. That's almost fucking pointless. I will now have to spend hundreds of hours doing this new time-gated daily grind to make no progress, just to fucking dig myself out of the hole. And is that going to bring people back? Like, genuinely, like, I just don't get it, man. It's crazy. So, they are adding this new gypsum system, which is effectively a daily quest system to upgrade your item level and be able to target the items you want to upgrade. This is not terrible. I don't love it because I think the whole watermark system in general is kind of stupid. I would have rather just had like normal MMO loot where, crafters craft things and bosses drop deterministic loot and not have this weird like perk RNG box system that's stupid. But, can't do that. So we have this new, of course, system. The systems are, God, the fucking systems. Why are it's like World of Warcraft and Amazon? They're so obsessed with these fucking systems that players can see. They do not feel organic at all. The players see right through them immediately. It feels like we're just playing a system, not playing a game. So, all right, well, I don't even know where to go from this. So, everybody that leveled up their crafting is pissed because it really invalidates the crafting in a lot of ways, because a lot of the value of crafting was that you could essentially buy your way to some pretty legitimate gear. It wasn't the best gear in the game, but it was like solid gear that would last you like a really long time until you inevitably got that super badass piece that you have been chasing that was your long-term goal. That's how I personally plan to play the game. I wasn't planning on doing a big, crazy watermark grind of killing bugged mobs and running bugged chests and exploiting terrain and cheesing mobs to all the way up to 600. I wasn't planning on doing that. I was planning on just organically getting my watermark up through playing the game and doing some outpost rush and just doing other various things in the game that raise your watermark. And eventually I would get my watermark to 600. That was my goal. And that's why I bought the crafted gear I bought. A lot of people did that. Now, that was a dumb fucking decision. All that gold is basically wasted, and I have to do the watermark farming anyway. How fucking great. So, yeah, you can see why people are very pissed about this system. So, this brings me back to my point. How is this going to bring people back, dude? How? There are so many other issues with this game. The watermark system is dumb. Sure, I agree. But, that's not the primary thing that's wrong with the game. You could make the watermark system less dumb just by, I don't know, getting rid of the tuning orbs, or just giving people other ways to progress their watermark other than exploiting chests and exploiting mobs and zerging world bosses and genuinely doing unfun shit. Let's talk about the actual issues this game has. Primarily for PvP players, dude, the Great Axe shit, we're still doing this, dude. The Great Axe is still a thing. We are still getting Sonic the Hedgehog dash attacked by Great Axes. Nothing has changed. If anything, it's even better. Why is this why are we still doing this? The tuning orbs are still a thing. They're still dumb. Nobody is running dungeons until they get their watermark up to the specific point. It's a real waste, dude. The dungeons, I had a lot of fun in the dungeons, but no one is doing them because nobody wants to grind the shit you need for the dungeons until they know they can actually get the upgrades. And I don't blame them because it's stupid. Dead servers. A lot of people are on dead servers where you just can't even do outpost rush. You can't even do the dungeons even if you did have the watermark up. And the experience really sucks for people that are on dead servers. Now, some people might say, transfer off that dead server. They gave you a free server transfer. Well, here's the thing. Some people did. They transferred off their dead server to a server that was alive, and now that server's dead. Because it's really easy for servers to die, especially if you're on a PvP-oriented server, because sometimes one side will quit. Let's say you're on a Covenant, primarily Covenant server, and the Covenant and the Marauders are fighting, and then the Covenant decide that, they're just bored of the game, and then they quit. Well, then the Covenant quits, and then the Marauders quit too because they got nobody to fight. So it's really easy for that to happen. Then we have the biggest elephant in the room, which is just the exploits, dupes, cheating. You got people memory hacking and making their Great Axe swing fast as fuck. All of the war exploits with ruinous weapons and the siege damage affecting players from the web. There's so many exploits and so many bugs that even if all of this other stuff wasn't stupid, this would deter people itself. I mean, I interviewed a gold seller that showed me on a Discord live stream him having multiple accounts with millions of gold and void ingots stacked up in the hundreds on multiple accounts. There's people that have just exploited the system so much. To give you some context for you guys that haven't watched that interview that I did with that guy, the gold sellers, many of them aren't even botting anymore because they have so much gold that it is not worth the electricity to run the bots. They have so much duped gold that they don't need any more gold. They have effectively an infinite supply to sell. So, yeah, okay. So, and this brings me back to my point. Okay, so I haven't played New World in a while. How do any of these changes bring me back? I don't know. They don't. Now, let's play another game. Let's say that I do all this shit and I get all my gear all the way up to 600 gear score. Great. I'm full best in slot. But why? Why? Why would I do that? Why? What is the reason for me to do that? For what? There's no competitive PvE content. There's no really hard raid boss that you get a big feeling of satisfaction for killing. There's no Mythic Plus. There's no competitive hard small scale PvE content. All that shit's easy as fuck and was cleared as soon as people hit 60. The wars in PvP are a complete joke. It's just exploiting Great Axes and fucking blob lag wars. Small scale PvP, there's no competitive small scale PvP. There's no arenas. All there is outpost rush, which admittedly is kind of cool, but that's it. That, and that's just a pub stomp kind of fuck around, PvP, haha, whatever. That's not competitive. So, like, you do all this shit, and why? So, I don't know. That's where I'm at with the game. You know, I like so much about New World, but, like, dude, so much of this game is just like, why? Like, what are they doing? Like, there's so much that's so good about the game, but then they make the most dumbass decisions, which is, like, so crazy because there's a lot of MMOs out there that make good decisions, but they just don't have, like, the budget or, like, the technical, like, ability to be able to make the things happen. But this game is the opposite. They have the technical ability to make the things happen, but they just are dumb as fuck with, like, actual game design. It's crazy. Like, if they could just get somebody in there that actually plays a fucking MMO to be like, nah, that's kind of stupid. Like, Anyway, that's where I'm at with New World. Hope you enjoyed the rant. It's, 5 in the morning. I just woke up, so this is what you get.